guys, I just wanted to jump on here and give you an unboxing slash setup video for this Ego power head and 8-inch edger. The power head, there's a bunch of different attachments that you can use with it. I got it with the 8-inch edger attachment, and we have a bunch of Ego stuff. We have their snow blower and their mower, which we really like, and we wanted an edger, so that was why we got this. Possibly for some reason the hardest part for me was figuring out which way to lay the box. When I opened it, I was having a real moment. But yeah, if you, it opens, oh, it's a flap open from the top. So you can see we've got all of our pieces in here. We've got the power head and then the actual edger attachment part. We've got the charger for the battery and the battery. That part's the edger, that part's the power head, the instruction manuals. There's the battery in a box by itself. So here is what the battery looks like that comes with it. But if you have any Ego products, you know that the batteries are interchangeable. So I imagine you can use any battery that you've got with this. This one is a smaller battery, just the 2.5 amps. Usually these come pre-charged. Yeah, it looks like this guy has about half of its charge left on it still, so it's got the little display there so you can see how much is charged. Here are the instruction manuals. It looks like we've got a couple of them for this product, a couple little pins. I'll have to read the manual to see what those are for. And we've got an Allen wrench. So we've got an instruction manual for the power head, for the edger attachment, for the battery, and for the battery charger. So 4 manuals. I'm sure I'm not actually going to read all these, but I will at least look at the power head and edger part. So it also shows you which batteries are compatible with each attachment and which attachments are compatible with the power head. So here are the specs if that's something that you're interested in. I'm not going to read all those to you. So let's get our charger out first of all. This charger looks a little bit different than the one I have just because it's smaller. Maybe it's been redesigned, but I can guarantee you that they will all work together. So when you're sliding your battery onto the charger, you're just going to slide it on. You can do it one-handed. If it were actually plugged in, that light would turn on, that it was red because it wasn't fully charged, and it would charge until it was done, and then it would turn green. Okay, so I've got the edger out of the box. This top part that's got a little cap over it is the part that's going to hook into the power head attachment. So if you had a lot of attachments, you'd want to hang on to that little cap part. And then here's just what the actual edger part looks like. So you've got the blade and then all the other parts there. And then this other part here is the power head. And then this little piece is the guide head, and it was kind of hidden under some other cardboard. So you want to make sure to pull that part out. So we're going to put the guide head onto the power head first. So we're going to loosen the screws with the Allen wrench and then put it on the power head part. And then after that, that's about the only piece of assembly you actually need to do besides just connecting the edger to the power head. You can, the nice thing is you can kind of adjust this to wherever you want it relative to your height and arm length. So all I did here was just take out those 4 screws using the Allen wrench, and then you're going to put the top part over it and put the bottom part under it, and then put the screws in to kind of get it, like, I would say, like, get it tightened up a little bit, and then you can adjust it to where you want it and then tighten it down completely based on how you think you're going to hold it. So I've got it on here kind of loosely, and I'm just going to hold this the way I think I would be holding it, and then put it exactly where I want it and then tighten it down. So checking out the trigger and just how my arms and how tall I am. And I think that looks like I would be most likely holding the trigger with my left hand and the guide thing with my right hand. So that's how I'm going to do that. So just going to use the Allen wrench to tighten that down to where I want it, and we are good to go. So hooking these bad boys together, there is a coupler on the end of the power head that you just loosen up or tighten. You know, when it's in there, you'll tighten it up. When you want to put something in, you'll loosen it up, and you're going to hear it click too when we put this in here. So we're going to take, if you haven't already, we're going to take the cap off of this end, and it's very clearly marked. You can't miss it. It's like a giant arrow. Push it in here, and then we're going to hear it snap into place. There we go. And then you just tighten it down. And then when you want to release it, you're going to unscrew it and then push that part right there to release it. So if we unscrew, and then you hold that down, it unclips, and then there you go, you can pull it out. So really, really easy to connect and disconnect this. So I'm going to tighten it back down so that we're ready to go. So then here's what the head of the edger looks like. So we've got our guide wheel, which you can unscrew that to loosen it, and then you can adjust it. So there's some adjustment for the guide wheel for how deep you want this to go. And it's a brushless motor, and it has a 3-inch cutting depth. So you can adjust that to where you want it. Okay, so we've got our edger connected to the power head. We've got the guide wheel set where we want it. The only other thing we have to do is just put the battery in. So we're just going to slide this into place. So you want to do it with the little indicator part up at the top, and it just slides right in there. You'll hear it click. And we get it where we want it, and then we're good to go. So this is our back sidewalk that connects our back porch to our garage, which we've lived here like 8 years and have never edged. So we're gonna really give this a good test drive. So there are 2 speeds or power levels here, so you can make it faster or slower. And then you just hold this button down with your thumb and then pull the trigger. You do those both at the same time, so that's a safe. And sorry, this is a little bit lame. I had a little bit of user error on my part. I thought it was recording while I was doing the edging, but it wasn't. But you can see how terrible it looked before and how much better that right side is starting to look. I haven't finished all of it. But like, yeah, you can actually see where the edges of my sidewalk are now on that right side. The battery was only like a third charge, so that's how far I got. So I'm going to go charge it and then work on the rest later. But you can see just how deep that was, how overgrown the corner it was, and how to release the battery, I guess, one last thing here. So you just pull down on this part, and then you can pull the battery out. So easy peasy, did it with one hand. And then here's what the charger, that's the charger that came with it. This is the charger we have for our other batteries, for our other Ego stuff that's actually already set up and plugged in. So just going to pop it in there. And any of the chargers, it'll show you, it'll start flashing when it's connected, and it'll show you when it's done. And it's all charged back up, and it will automatically turn off. So I'm going to grab this battery and get back to it. But yeah, this was super easy to unbox and set up and get using. So